Hello, hello, hello. It's March. The proper growing season is starting, so I thought it's time we did one of our garden updates. But this time, I thought, let's pick up where we left off. It has been forever. And there was a lot of things that were happening over winter. So I've got some chores to do. While I'm doing that, I'll take you around and I'll tell you about all the bits and pieces that have been happening since we last did the proper big update. I've got some weeding to start with. I've got to carry everything. I need to get one of those little gardening pouch things where I can put all my tools in there. Right, let's go. So I'm Eli, and on this channel we like to make growing your own fruit and veg easy, simple, and most of all, fun. Now, this little pot is going to get quite a bit of TLC. This teacup pot used to be this really, really bright red colour with white dots. It's one of the first things we ever bought for this garden way back, and it sat on the stairs over there, but it stopped being the kind of theme of our garden, if you like, and what have you. But we discovered it recently, quite happily, hidden away behind, I think, the shed. And as you can see, it's got some achilesias and foxgloves and things growing in it. So I'm going to dig them out and rescue them and revitalise this pot. I'm just going to give it some of my own homemade compost and try and bring these little guys on. And we've just brought it out because it's a nice memory. So I'm just going to do that just now. Handy hory for that. Just being really careful because don't want to cut too much root away and kill anything. And that is where I love my hory for this. Your standard trowels are brilliant, you can dig and what have you, but this actually has a saw blade on one side and a knife blade on the other, so it's fantastic for really getting in amongst root balls and just cutting things and what have you. I love this guy. And this is my homemade compost, which has been dried and sieved down for using in the pots. I use it raw in the beds where I can kind of get it on there and it's not needing to be fine. But in the pots and things, it needs to be a bit finer, so it's dried and sieved. So let's get you back in here, little guy. Another fantastic giveaway for you guys. We've partnered with Geppetto Tools, where I got my hory, and they are going to give one of you guys your own hory. All you need to do is comment down below and tell me why you really need one of these and how you're going to use it. Unfortunately, again, guys, it's only open to the UK, but as always, all the details are in the description below. And I haven't forgotten, we're going to announce the winner of last week's competition later on in today's video. Okay, what's next then? Blueberries. Now, we actually haven't spoken much about the blueberries over the last year. I got all excited when I got them and I started telling you guys about growing them in pots and having to be careful with the soil and stuff. But the truth is, I got lazy and started just watering them with the tap water, which slowly changed the pH of the soil from acidic to alkali, and that's why they stopped producing. So the big thing this year, I'm just going to get it all tidied up and I'm going to start adding a little bit more ericaceous compost and start acidifying that soil again, in the hope that probably not this year, but maybe next year I'll get a decent harvest again. But that leads me to this little guy. This is actually a little meter that you can put in the soil to test the pH, okay? If you're interested in this type of thing, I use it for the blueberries, the hydrangeas, that type of stuff. Up in the About section, right at the top of this channel, you'll see a link to my gear page, or it's on my website, my blog, okay? But things like this I add in there so you can go and have a look at them if you want, okay? look at that. Not only is it no longer acidic, it's right over into the alkaline area. So that's not ideal. So we're right up there, passing 7, going towards 8. So I need to get this sorted. It's a bit of a tight squeeze for filming in this bit, because I'm kind of between the beds and the fence. But I'm going to do the usual, just the first thing, just tidy it up, get rid of any of the weeds. And I'm not going to completely dump out all of the soil from this container and start again, because it's just a waste, to be perfectly frank. What I'm going to do is take maybe an inch off the top and replace that with ericaceous compost, and I will just keep an eye on this and keep working that way to get it back. So I guess while we're on this side of the garden, do you want a wee update on the vegetable garden? How about the carrots? Before I do this, I know some of you are asking. Yes, at the moment we don't have hinges on these. We're seeing how we go, because that bed with the hinges was a bit of a nightmare. It had to come this way because of all the pots, but then I couldn't get into it because of all the pots. So we're thinking about that bed. And in the meantime, we just haven't put them on the other ones. So we're doing this. Which of course we can now, because we've got the big heavy bases on there. But it means I can do things like that again. Okay, so all you guys that missed out on all the fun and games with carrots, last autumn we decided to have a wee bit of an experiment, and there's a big bunch of us, all you guys that follow us here on this channel, we're all doing this. So basically, I start my carrots in the greenhouse in root trainers, and then when they get bigger, about this size, I transfer them out into the beds. The reason being, it takes a wee while to get things going here in my garden because of the weather. Spring here is cold and wet generally, and it takes an age to get things like carrots and beetroot going. So I cheat and I start them in my unheated greenhouse, in root trainers, and then transfer them out here. Now, I was asked about this, I think on Wednesday this week. Yes, you can do this. Lots of folk do this, okay? It's not the given advice, but basically, as long as you're not disturbing those little root mechanisms, you can get away with this, okay? But anyway, to go back to it, we had these guys who were quite big and quite well on, so I planted them out, and they've been out here all through winter, survived the snow and everything. As you can see, they're not exactly doing brilliant, they're not huge. And this bit, I actually had some tiny little seedlings that I had started. So basically, yeah, they're gone. Nothing left. That mad snow we had has killed them all off. They were obviously just too small to survive out here. In contrast though, things are doing much better in the greenhouse. So I'll take you in there and show you what's going on in the greenhouse. So yeah then, carrots in the beds are not looking quite as amazing as these guys, are they? Now, these look fantastic, but they're nowhere near ready for us to actually get carrots to eat. The hope was we may get some little spring carrots, you know, little baby carrots, kind of end of April time-ish. I don't know if that's going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and see. The little seeds I planted are doing awesome as well. They're on this side. So yeah, not quite as recognisable as the proper big carrot seedlings, but you know, they're coming on. They're getting the true leaves. They're recognisable as carrots. We're just going to have to wait and see. The plan is to keep both these tiny little ones that were grown from seed and these slightly bigger ones that were grown in the root trainer, to keep them growing in the greenhouse for a little bit, just to keep this experiment going and see. But you guys who did this with me then, let me know below how are yours doing. Or if you're in the Facebook community, post a picture and let us see. Okay, I'm going to take you back out there now. But back at this bed, there is some awesome fun because, do you remember Denise? Instagram handle. Denise is one of the fabby people that gardens on Instagram rather than YouTube. Go and have a check out of her stuff. She's so much fun. She gave me this garlic So, because I haven't planted garlic in years, but she had some spares that she gave me, and these are dovecot garlic, or in Scotland we would say duket, okay? But they're coming up fabby. So yeah, so I will keep you guys up to date. Eli's top tip if you're growing garlic from experience. We grew garlic for our first few years in that bed, and then we stopped growing it and we changed that to our strawberry bed. For 2 years, our strawberries had the slightest hint of garlic about them. It's quite a unique flavour. So yeah, don't grow garlic in a bed and then put something like strawberries in straight afterwards. Not a good idea. But yeah, so all looking great. Where do you want to go next? I know, I tell you what. Apologies for interrupting this week's broadcast, but we're going to bring you the winners of the quickcrop.co.uk giveaway. So let's do a random comment selector. And our first winner is Annie McDonald, who is in the Outer Hebrides. It's her second year growing fruit and veg in her polytunnel, and she's going to buy some raised bed covers for her next project. That is an awesome choice, Annie. Raised bed covers, I totally recommend them. Right, winner number 2. Okay, we've got an almost local to us person now. We've got Lindsay Hope, and Lindsay is just outside Edinburgh, which is not far from us. And she says she honestly couldn't make up her mind about what she'd use the vouchers for, but she'll maybe put it towards a mini polytunnel kit, or some bits and pieces like root trainers, a sieve, and seed trays and module trays. She says, I'm so indecisive. I know that feeling, I'm kind of the same, but yeah, the mini polytunnel kit is kind of what I've got in my raised beds, and you can choose the cover that you put on it. So again, another awesome choice there. Okay guys, if you could get in touch with me using the business inquiries email that's in the about section, and I'll make sure that gets passed on to me, but you need to drop me a little email from your Gmail account that you use to make the comments on YouTube, okay? Drop me a little message and I will get your details and pass them on to Quickcrop so you can get your vouchers. But well done, absolutely everyone. I loved reading all your comments. I really, really did. It made my day reading some of your ideas. It's always horrible, we can't all win, but remember, at least there is the 10% discount code that you can use on the website. So all capital letters, all one word, Eli and Kate. And if you use that at checkout on the UK website, quickcrop.co.uk, you get 10% off anything you buy. And that code's going to last until the end of June. So you've got ages to get all your bits and pieces done. Right, I'll let you guys get back to this week's video then. So yes, we finally got the strawberry planter finished. After starting it, thinking we'll get this done, you know, maybe a wee afternoon, a full day at most, and then the weather just getting in the way. Oh, finally, weeks later, we've got it finished. So basically, the original idea, we were going to go with a bit of a weird shape here, but with the whole time it took, we were getting, number one, we were getting kind of sick of this as a project, and number two, I had all the strawberries and they needed planted out, so we ended up just going for really simple bog standard. It's 4 pallets on top of each other, so 2 on either side. Okay, it actually works really, really well. What we did was we took the middle pieces out of the pallets and then used them to make the bottom for these troughs, which is where we've got planted, okay? So the best thing about this, you can see, is it's not fancy, it's totally rough and ready. It's a free planter using free materials that anyone can do this. It isn't technical at all, okay? But you can see it works brilliant. These little troughs actually hold way more than you think. I originally thought I was only going to put maybe 1, maybe 2 strawberries in each one, but actually they hold a lot, so I've put 3 just to see how it goes. I might reduce it to 2, but this year we'll just see. And I've got 3 varieties in there. So I've got the Albion, which is an everbearer. That means it fruits from kind of June through till September, October. So you can get a couple, sometimes even 3 flushes off each plant, so you get a lot of strawberries. And this is the type of strawberry we grew in our beds that you guys know about, and we had so many everbearers. We've also got Sweetheart. It's another sort of the same type, but that one has red flowers, hence the name. And we just thought it'd be really cool and something different. So white flowers, red flowers, and on this side is the pineberry that I told you guys about before. This is a white strawberry that apparently tastes like pineapple. So I will let you guys know how that goes. Last bit then, let's pop into the greenhouse. So we'll finish up today in the greenhouse. It is starting to look like a greenhouse again. I've got things sown. Propagators are starting to look all steamed up and misty. But one of the big things is, again, those overwinter experiments I did. We spoke about those kind of winter experiments I was doing. So we spoke about the carrots already, but the other one was, could I keep some of my herbs going in the greenhouse over winter, given that I had it bubble wrapped? And awesome results. The basil, as expected, it didn't cope. So I lost all of my basil. So Lindsay, I gave you the other half of my basil. How did you get on? Is it still going? Let me know. Comment below. But also, this is the important one, my tarragon. Even if nothing else had worked, the fact that my French tarragon has survived over winter and it's started growing again, oh, it's just the best thing in the world. You guys know I love my French tarragon, especially because you guys have been saying that this year you're really struggling to get seeds. So woohoo, I've got these two big pots going in my chilli grow. I'm going to talk about these in a video in a few weeks, guys, so don't worry. But I've got these two pots going, and I've got a wee pot in the house as well, so I'm chuffed. Obviously, there's an awful lot more to be updating you guys on throughout the entire season. Like beetroot, we'll be following these little guys. Tomato plant. Remember, if you want to win your very own hori that will be much cleaner than mine, get your comment in down below, and in the description of the video, all the details for the competition. Remember, over 18s only, UK only. Sorry guys, them's the rules. Right, I will see you next week when we'll tell you who's won the hori. See ya!